As you might have already heard by now, the California Red Sticker program that is used to register dirt bikes in California is going to be going away. Starting in model year 2022, things are going to start looking a lot different in California in terms of off-road access, where you can ride, and what designation your bike receives. It's a complicated issue at this point, and it's been a little bit confusing for a lot of people, but I'm going to break this down for you. I've spoken to some manufacturers, spoken to some dealers to simplify this, so we're going to break it down for you. Starting with the short version. Back in 1998, the California Air Resources Board, also known as CARB, took a look at the OHV community and decided we needed to clean up our act and start burning a little bit cleaner on the exhaust. They came up with some new emission standards that we were required to pass. The pushback from the manufacturers and from the OHV community at that point was that this is too strict. We still need to have our race bikes and our competition bikes for closed course. So what CARB allowed for was the Red Sticker program, which is designated for competition motorcycles, and these were designed and intended for closed course purposes and racing. Even back in 1998, this was supposed to be a temporary fix and was supposed to be revisited by CARB down the road once manufacturers had time and resources to build towards this more emissions compliant spec, which we know as green sticker. So a couple of decades later, and CARB took another look at the OHV community and started realizing pretty much everybody's buying red sticker bikes, and green sticker bikes are hardly selling at all. And the red sticker rules, to be honest, were not all that restrictive at all. It limited you to a season that you could ride your off-road bike in certain areas, but generally the only seasons that were blacked out for red sticker motorcycles was the summer. And who wants to go riding when it's 100 degrees out anyway? So there was very loose restrictions. All in all, it was a pretty big loophole that we got away with for a pretty long time. So it's not really coming as any huge surprise that a couple decades later, now that CARB has taken another look at this, they're realizing, look, you guys took advantage of this really big loophole, so you're done. Although these talks have been going on for a couple of years now, the new rules were only set, I think, a little over a year ago now. And that time frame for a manufacturer in terms of their production schedules is a blink of an eye. It's already mid-2021, 22 models are already on the way. Some of them are already on floors. And now all of a sudden we have this new registration or lack thereof to deal with. So what does this mean? What it means at this point is anything that was previously green sticker bike, which we will call compliant, will continue to receive a green sticker. Anything that would have received a red sticker simply doesn't get registration at all through the DMV. So you don't pay any DMV registration fees, which I guess some of the motocrossers are rather enjoying. It's just one less thing to worry about, one less thing to pay. But you're not going to receive any form of registration or sticker. And that can be sort of problematic with things like transportation or insurance or financing. So it's not necessarily a good thing to not have any form of registration on your bike. And it also means that unless you have a green sticker, you are not allowed to ride in California public trail systems at all. So it's not limited to a certain time of year or only as long as you have a spark rest or anything like that. You're not allowed, period. So this is a very abrupt and rather absolute shift in the way that dirt bikes are registered in California. So that's the long and short of what we're dealing with and how we got here. Now on to how is this going to affect you? Well, again, this new designation affects where you can and can't ride only on California public trail systems and lands such as the SVRA areas, Ocotillo, Gorman, Glamis, Stoddard Wells, El Mirage, these types of areas. There are also large swaths of land, especially in the California desert, that are BLM, Bureau of Land Management, and that's federally managed. So they're not necessarily going to take on the same regulations that California passes. They might not. I think enforcement on their level for something like this is going to be pretty impractical. But we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen there. This is also not going to affect anything in terms of closed course, motocross, private property, anything there. That's all going to stay the same, so that's good news. There's still a lot of people that see the problem with not being able to register a non-compliant dirt bike at all. Fortunately, California State Senator Jones already has some legislation that is in Sacramento right now that we're going to try to push through in this next legislative session. It is SB 227, which is the California Competition Registration Sticker Bill. Now, if that passes, it's going to allow you to get a registration sticker for your non-compliant bike. The good news is this has wide bipartisan support, and there's a lot of organizations, including DMV, I think the DMV has probably taken note of how much revenue they stand to lose by people not registering their dirt bikes. And CHP is also behind this, as well as Cal Parks. The California State Park System is behind this bill. So hopefully that's going to pass. I think we still all need to make sure to get behind this. Call your representative, ask them to please support this bill. That's going to be the first step in moving toward competition exemptions for dirt bikes. So what are competition exemptions going to look like? I'm willing to bet they're not going to be as loose as the red sticker regulations were, but I think that there's still going to be some wiggle room here. Fortunately, believe it or not, the people at CARB do understand the value of racing and competition, and also the need for practice prior to a competition for safety reasons. Perhaps there could be some type of exemption if there's a race coming up. Look, I need to get practice on my race bike. I don't know. We're gonna see what that ends up looking like. But the first step is getting SB 227 to pass. If you currently have a red sticker registered bike, what does that mean? It's kind of good news there as well. If you have anything 2021 or earlier that is red sticker bikes, such as this 2021 KX 250X, as of 2025, you are going to get a green sticker for that bike, because the DMV is only going to continue issuing the red stickers for renewals and things like that through the end of calendar year 24. Beyond that, you're going to have a green sticker, so I'm going to be able to take this wherever I want year-round, which is pretty nice. So like I said, I spoke to a couple of manufacturer representatives, also to some dealers. What they would like you to know is to not panic. Don't worry too much if you're looking at buying a 2022 dirt bike. By all means, get into a dealership and buy yourself one, because the sky is not falling. We don't need to be alarmists about this. I want everyone to understand what's happening, but this is not the end of the world. I think we're still going to be able to enjoy a lot of access. I think the manufacturers are eventually going to build to this tighter spec, and we're still going to have some awesome bikes to ride and some great places to ride them in. But definitely stay tuned. So keep your ear to the street. I'll try to keep you informed of what's going on as the changes happen and how you can help get behind the effort toward gaining more access for OHV use.